Oh, yeah. We made it. It's Friday. Yeah. Friday, March 27th, 2020. This is episode 373. You've tuned in to We Live on a Planet, and I am your host, Patrick. It's 37 degrees currently in the fine city of Oswego, New York. Feels like 32. Highs are going to be about 40. Winds are out of the north, 7 miles per hour. Whew. Did that all in one breath. Looks like it might be drone weather today, mostly sunny, so I'm excited. I need to get out. I'm cabin fever, like all of you probably are, I'm sure. I have, anytime something new, you get something new, you find out there's little gremlins in the machine. And I realized that with my new microphone, I wasn't close enough to the mic. And so I had some of my listeners call in and say, you know, Patrick, I'm having a hard time hearing you. You sound great, but I can't hear you. I would think I was just too far away from my microphone. It sounded fine in my headphones because I could hear myself great. And I guess on playback, you had to have the volume all the way up. And then during the interludes, the anchor interludes, the volume would just screech up. And if you had headphones on or anything like that, you were getting deafened. So I apologize for that. I'm sorry. You know, I've said it before here. We don't make mistakes. We just make happy accidents. Well, Bob Ross says that, and he says it better than I do. And where is he?
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
Thank you, Bob. That's so true. Stick around. When we come back, we'll start off with our quote and other things for the show. I'm really happy that you stopped by. Oh, yeah. We'll be right back. So beautiful. Welcome back. All right, let's start off with our quote. Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss also says to be number one, you have to be odd. And I think that's true. We tend to try to conform to the norm as not to stick out. Sometimes it's good to stick out and be a little different, you know. Don't let the noise of other people's opinions drown your inner voice. Steve Jobs said that. Whoa, double quote today. Triple quote, actually, because we threw in 2 Dr. Seuss quotes today. That was a little late. That was delayed. Oh my gosh. I have so much going on at We Live on a Planet, and I can't wait to tell you about it. I've got a lot of pots on the stove that I'm stirring right now, and my head has just been on a swivel these past couple days, and it's been awesome. I have decided to fire up the show for Wednesdays. So I've got Mondays and Fridays, but now Wednesdays. As long as everything keeps going as planned, I'm going to have Wednesdays as my interview/conversation days. And when I say like /interview/conversation, because I want them to be real free-flowing, easygoing conversation instead of like in an interview format, you know? I just want to talk to my listeners and talk to interesting people. And I already have one in the can that's going to be coming out April 1st with Josh McClay from O'Malley's Media, LLC. He has a podcast, O'Malley's Adventure, and he also does live streaming on YouTube and live streaming on Facebook. And when we did our recording, it was really interesting because what we did was he had his setup to live stream, and I had the setup for Anchor. I called him through Anchor, and that was my end, but he was recording on his end, live streaming. And so what it really was I was a guest on O'Malley's Adventure, O'Malley's Media. And what we did was, even though I was a guest over there, I recorded it on my end. So we had like a dual dual purpose. We were able to kill two birds with one stone. And so when you hear the episode on April 1st, and it's no joke, did you see what I did there? Stupid, how corny. When you hear it, it might be a little confusing because you'll be like, whoa, wait a minute. Because at the very beginning, he'll be like, the live stream will be up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're live. And then he plays his intro, but we can't hear it over here on our end. So there's like a 5-second pause of just dead space. And if you were listening, you might be like, looking at your phone, thinking something's wrong, turning up the volume, and then going to get blasted in your ear. I'm going to explain that, though, when I release it. I also have for April 8th, Nautilus Award-winning author of Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases. She is a TV and radio host and producer, Kathleen Cat O'Keefe Canavos. And she contacted the show and said, hey, Patrick, I'm really interested in being on We Live on a Planet. Would you have me on as a guest? And she sent me her deets. Did I just say deets? I did. She sent me her details. And she was on like the Dr. Oz show, the show The Doctors, a couple other shows. She's already been made a name for herself, so that would be kind of fun. I did a recording yesterday with Eddie Green's 101, and that was fun. I was on his channel. We did a recording already, but it went pear-shaped. Not with what happened with us, but the recording audio quality was terrible, I guess, on his end. He said he said it just sounded terrible, and it was something that he didn't want to play, which I'm glad he decided to make that decision, because if the quality was that bad. So we did one yesterday, and that was fun, and I'm going to have him on as a guest on my show, and I'm not sure for that one exactly when. I also am going to be doing something with Dave and Casper from Carpe eventually. Those guys are real busy right now, and they just started their podcast, Let's Talk About Sweat, and they want to get some episodes out and get their feet wet. I also have an interview with, I'm so excited about this. This is with Hollywood director Andy Palmer. Andy Palmer directed movies like The Funhouse Massacre, starring Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger actor. Camp Colebrook. You've heard me talk about Camp Colebrook in excess. I already interviewed the writer of that movie, episode 315, with Alex Carl. But so I'm going to have Andy Palmer on. I'm going to do something today, record with Reish, with Medicine Remixed. He's a doctor out in New York City, and he has a podcast called Medicine Remixed, which has really made its name for itself as well. Gary Vaynerchuk gave him a shout out before, and you know who Gary Vaynerchuk is. He's some self-help guru guy. I also have one with, man, I got a lot, right? Am I boring you yet, or are you excited? I'm excited. I have one with Mylar from Oh, What a Glorious Morning. Him and I are going to do something as well. So yeah, I've just got, April is full, and I already got some episodes into May too. So it's looking good. If you have an interesting story or interesting thing to tell me and you'd like to be on the show too, you can reach me. I always tell you at the end of the show, but I'll tell you right now, it's WLOAP.com. From there, you can leave me a voicemail or a email. Or if you're using the Anchor app, you know how to do it. It's super easy. I would love to hear from you. You can call me too. Area code 315-326-1882. Pretty easy. All right, stick around. When we come back, we'll dive into some more stuff and things. I'll be right back. Welcome back, my friend. So how are you faring with being cooped up? Is it driving you nuts? Are you driving your spouse nuts. Try not to. Try to get out. Just because we're kind of in quarantine and lockdown here in New York doesn't mean you can't go outside. And I'm going to plan on doing that today because I want to get my drone flying in, like I said at the beginning of the show. And it's uncertain times. I've talked about this already. I don't want to talk too much about the coronavirus except for just to be aware of it and to, if we do this social distancing thing correctly, nothing should feel any different except for that you sat on your couch for 2 weeks or longer. That's the whole point of it. You should not notice the difference except for, okay, so I sat here for 2 weeks or 3 weeks and nothing happened. Yeah. Yeah, that's the whole point of it. And it's hard. It's difficult when your life is upheavaled like this. And here in Oswego, I still can't find toilet paper. I mean, come on. Only take what you need, people. Just take what you need. And so that's frustrating. And I know that it starts getting to you too because you're looking and things just aren't normal. I've talked about it here on the show, and just imagine going to that tree and there's no more fruit on it, and it makes you anxious, and that's what's happening. And we'll get over it though. We're a strong, resilient creature, and we've gotten through worse, and we'll get through this. And it makes you think though, this must have been what people were thinking during the influenza of 1918, just that uncertainty. And we don't have the medicine back then like we have now, so how terrible it must have been. It makes me think about like Civil War time and how more people died from disease and than the actual battle. Crazy, crazy stuff. What are we gonna do today? Do you want to learn something? I want to learn something. I want to know something. I like to learn, and that's maybe one of the reasons you visit me here at We Live on a Planet, because we learn things. Jeez. Gotta scream at me. Whoa, boing. What's that for? Oh, because on this day in 1998, FDA approves Viagra. I get it. Viagra is invented. That's helped millions and millions of couples survive all kinds of stuff, huh? Hasn't it? 1950. I don't know if you can tell that I'm turning my head. Let me see can I pick up the microphone and oh boy, I'm bringing you close. I just picked up the microphone and brought it a little bit closer to me so I can turn my head and see my tablet because I kept turning my body and it probably made it sound a little different. Okay. 1958, Khrushchev becomes a Soviet premier on this date. 1912, Japanese cherry trees planted along the Potomac. You know how we have the cherry tree blossom in Washington? Those were planted in 1912 as a gift. 1964, earthquake rocks Alaska, measuring 9.2 on the Richter scale. Holy moly, that's a big one. I've never felt an earthquake. I've never, thank goodness, been in one. I was in Southern California, never had one. I think they said there was one when I was there, but I didn't feel it. There was one right where I grew up in the early 80s or something like that. And I remember it cracked the foundation a little bit on my dad's house I grew up in. 1939, March Madness crowns its first men's NCAA championship. That happened in 1937. Wow. University of Oregon defeats Ohio State University 46-33. How low that score was. There's players that score that. Now, 1829, President Jackson appoints John Eaton as Secretary of War and starts a scandal. Ooh, if you want to know about that scandal, I guess you're going to have to head on over to the History Channel's website and find out more about that. 1979, Patty Boyd and Eric Clapton are married. 1973, Marlon Brando declines Best Actor Best Actor at the Oscars. His swag, I'm not taking it. 1977, jumbo jet collides at can, Canal Canales Island Airport. Two 747 jumbo jets crash into each other on the railroad. On the railroad? What the hell were they doing on the railroad? No, on the railway. Runway. Holy spit it out. Runway. This is so sad, though. It killed 582 passengers and crew members. So tragic. One of my uncles is a retired air traffic controller. That's a very stressful job. 1905, fingerprint evidence is used to solve a British murder case. 1865, Lincoln, Sherman, and Grant plan final stages of the Civil War. And in the American Revolution, 1775, Thomas Jefferson elected to the Continental Congress. Wow. Yeah, the more we know. Stick around. We'll be right back. If I can open my phone. Stick around. We'll be right back. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. Yeah, free. There's also creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will even distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Listen to this, too. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Check out anchor.fm today. You can find me at anchor.fm/WLOAP. Hope to hear from you. Yeah, we are. We're going to learn some more things. We're heading on over to the facts site, and we're going to share 100 fascinating facts about fashion and clothing. Yeah, you heard. Why not? I've never talked about it here on the We Live on a Planet. It's not going to be all 100. That's for sure. Just the potpourri. In the United States, each person owns an average of 7 pairs of blue jeans. 7. I do not own 7 pairs of blue jeans, but the average person does in America. I don't think I own 7 pairs of pants. Men have been wearing shorts for decades, but women were only allowed to wear them in public after World War II. One of the main reasons for this was because less fabric was available during the war, so shorts were more cost-effective than pants or skirts. The t-shirt is one of the most popular items of clothing in the world, and around 2 billion of them are sold every single year. Yeah, that's me. I'm a t-shirt guy. Jeans and a t-shirt. Not 7 pairs of jeans, but jeans and a t-shirt. I love t-shirts. I live in t-shirts. That's basically in this winter though. I lived in Sherpas, those Sherpa lined pants, and they're awesome. My wife got me some Sherpas, and I just call them my Sherps. Got to get my Sherps on. Historically, purple clothes were only worn by magistrates, emperors, and other aristocrats in Rome and Italy. I remember going to school where I went, that little Catholic school, private school. Purple is a color that was in Lent used, purple, a lot. And I can remember that was just one of those historic colors, like they just said. The loincloth is the oldest item of clothing, but the second oldest is the skirt, an item which is still very popular today. Thousands of fashion magazines are sold every year, but the first ever fashion magazine was sold in Germany. Wait till you hear what year. 1586. 1586, there was fashion magazines. Wow. Well, lots of things are increasing in price. Clothing is actually decreasing. Since 1992, the price of clothing has gone down by 8.5%. In 1907, a woman was arrested on a beach in Boston for wearing a one-piece swimsuit. Wow. Bras have been spit it out. What was it, the word bras? No, I'm not a kid. Bras have been through different styles over the years, but you can now purchase a bra that can also be used as a gas mask. Yeah, I've seen that on the internet right now, how you can turn your bra into a mask because of the coronavirus. Speaking of bras, I can remember as a kid, a young kid, looking at like the Sears and JC Penney catalog at the bra section and being all, ooh, it's so risky. Nowadays, kids, holy cow, they can type in anything on the internet. Not when I was a kid, there was no internet. You had the Sears and Roebuck and JC Penney bra catalog section. Sometimes I am very vulnerable here. We live on a planet and I share everything, don't I? Yeah, well, it is a personal journal with a variety show flair, so once in a while. Okay. Levi jeans. Yeah, those are the jeans of choice of mine usually. But I've been liking Wranglers. I've been finding Wranglers are very comfortable. Levi jeans are one of the most popular brands of jeans, although you might pay a hefty price for a pair now. The first pair was sold for $6 worth of gold dust back in 1853. High heels are nothing new to the world. In the 18th century, they were fashionable even for children to wear high heels. The little black dress was compared to the Ford car when it first came along in 1926, since it was practical and simple. The little black dress. Little green bag. That's all I'm thinking of now. Cha, bum, bum, dum, dun, 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 cha, dun, dun, dun. Queen Victoria was the first person to wear a white wedding dress. Prior to this, white had been used as a color of mourning, not black. Wow. See, I learned stuff here at We Live on a Planet. It is thought that the average woman will buy 145 bags during her lifetime. 145 different purses. The most common material for manufacturing clothing are linen, cotton, and polyester. Metal needles are relatively new, but 30,000 years ago, they were being made from from animal bones. A human is an animal, but no. Where did human's not even in that sentence. Where did that come from? Oh, that's enough. That's enough. Yeah, I know. Shut up. Hey, stick around when we come back. We'll figure out what else we're gonna do if we're still on the air, if we don't get pulled. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for your time today. I really do appreciate it. Yeah. You used to. You still can. Call me on my cell phone. Be a part of the show. 315-326-1882. Or if you're using the Anchor app, you know how. If you do call that number I just gave you, I can't change the algorithm. It will ring 5 times before it will go to voicemail. So let it ring 5 times. Let me know you want to be a part of the show, or comments, questions, anything like that. Be a part. I'm also still giving things away over at WLOAP.com. All you have to do is subscribe to the website. Once you subscribe to my website, you're instantly entered to win. Once I get to a certain number of subscribers, I'm going to be drawing and giving away a gift of over $50. And I have that already packed up, ready to go. All I need to do is fill out the name of the lucky winner. Maybe it will be you. Maybe you already have subscribed, but tell a friend. Tell a friend about We Live on a Planet. That's the only way we're going to get some even more wheels on the planet. We're heard all across the globe, but it's always nice to know somebody else is a new listener. If you're a new listener, welcome. Thank you for stopping over. I do appreciate it. If you've been following the show, thank you. I appreciate that as well. I appreciate you all. I couldn't do this without you, and I do appreciate it. Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Remember that from Dr. Seuss. Do your best today to stay curious and not judgmental the best you can too, and be kind to one another in this time right now that we're in. I know we're all edgy, and it's a time of unsettled uneasiness. We don't know what's going to happen, but please do your best to be kind to one another today. You know, if you hear that, you know, head the other way. Head the other way. Be careful. Don't go out if you don't have to go out. Stay inside. It's not going to be that bad to stay inside for a little while. Everybody's always like, if I could just stay home and kick my feet up and just binge watch TV, that's what I want to do. Well, that's what we're supposed to do right now, so try to do that. All right, my friends, enough of that. I'll get off my soapbox. I do appreciate you, and I will talk to you again real soon. Don't forget Wednesdays. I will be on the air now for interviews / conversation episodes. So be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you know when new episodes are coming out. That's one of the ways to know too, by going over to my website, and you'll know every time some news about the podcast is coming out. All right, my friends, take care and be safe.